Okay, so I'm going to introduce Alex Ronzino here from Rework Capital. He's our lead sponsor, and honestly, this event likely would not be happening without him and the rest of our sponsors, which we'll talk a little bit about here in a second. So round of applause. Grab that mic. Okay, and I'm just going to let him, stage is yours.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, but to the whole Sarasota Tech board, big round of applause. This is a great event. And believe it or not, this is actually not the first time that I've tried to sponsor a Sarasota Tech event. In the summer of 2024, Sarasota Tech had been getting moving. There were some events happening, and I reached out to this guy, Pete Peterson, and I had a great idea. I said, Pete, I want to sponsor a Sarasota Tech Jam. All right? I'll get the Art Ovation. There'll be a bar. It'll be a pretty nice event. And he quips back, Alexander, this is not about drinking. This is not about a bar. But I am happy to say there is a bar tonight. But Pete was right. It is about more than a bar. To paraphrase Richard Branson, he said something to the effect of success in business is about making meaningful connections. And certainly over the last decade of my career, I've known that to be true, right? I'm a 3-time founder, 2-time exited, and I never would have done what I've done thus far if it wasn't for great mentors and just great people in my corner. And when I moved to Sarasota in 2020, my wife and I had just had our daughter, and I looked around, I kind of took inventory of my life, and like many founders, I'd realized it had become a bit isolated. I didn't necessarily have the network or the community that I wanted. And it was around that time I started working on Rework. And Rework, our mission is to guide visionary founders to build their empires. All right, how do we do that? So on one side, we invest in early stage companies from seed to Series A. And then we also have a portfolio of services companies, most notably fractional CFO, but also tax, legal, and brokerage for when the company ultimately has then scaled to sell. And so it was, fall of 2023 that I decided, all right, it's time to network, time to go out, time to meet some people. And Brian, who was up on stage earlier today, founder of Raise, invites me to a Sarasota Tech Jam. And I'm not a networker. I'm more of an introvert. I hate being on stage right now. And I walk into this room, and it didn't look like this. It was 20 people, and I'm a little stiff, but I was pretty quickly disarmed. I was taken away with inspirational founders in the room, and engineers excited about what they were building, and investors excited about Sarasota of all places. It ended up being a great event, with the exception of one point. Pete was talking, and Brian and I were giggling in the corner, and he looked at me genuinely and said, "Are you high?" But I go back to Pete was right. Not that I was high, but that these events are about more than just a bar, right? It is about making meaningful connections. And over the next 2.5 years, I've seen Sarasota Tech grow from a 20-person meetup to 550 tickets here today. And Rework's grown in that same time frame. And that's really the reason that we said, we want to sponsor Sarasota Tech. We believe in Sarasota. We believe in the engineers, building here, the founders grinding here, and the investors taking bets on this place. So thank you for being here, and let's keep building.
Right on. Thank you so much.